People love visualize stuff. It's really has done an amazing job. What we have now, you can log onto our website, NinjaVest.co. We have the ability for people to log on with Facebook and Twitter. You can type in a stock code, and instead of seeing the traditional data, ratios, charts, we do some analysis on that data, and we give it to you in a simplified, beautiful, easy to understand way. And what do our users think? Well, feedback from 12 users shows that they love the concept. Of course there's work to be done, and we're stoked about that. But for us, now how are we going to reach our target audience? How are we going to reach the early adopters? We are going to focus on the pain. When are they feeling the pain? They're sitting at their desk and they're reading an article, S&P 500, highest it's been for 5 years. But they're not there. Oh. Right next to the article is an advert. Click on that advert, straight to the App Store, download the free version of our app. Relief. They're looking at something they've seen before, but it's beautiful, it's simple, and they understand it, but they want more. So, how do we value that? Well, we value our early adopters as 5% of the number of people trading shares in Australia. That equates to about 100,000 people. If we can get that 100,000 within 18 months to sign up for an annual subscription of $5 a year, we could be turning over $500,000 a year. And we feel this is a commercially viable product. But this is just the start. We're talking about Australia. Let's talk about worldwide. We're talking about stocks and shares. Let's talk about other types of securities. And once we get that kind of traction, we're going to be able to approach financial institutions with a product, a white label product that they can market and they can use for a competitive advantage. So to summarize, we've found a huge problem, we've validated it. We've come up with a solution, we've validated the demand. And we feel that it's commercially viable. I'd just like to say that on behalf of my team, we've had an absolutely amazing weekend. Thanks to all the organisers, and we'll be really happy to answer any of your questions.
I'm curious.
I can hear you.
Can you tell me a bit more about...
Sorry, Michelle, you still need to use the microphone.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about the features of the product? I got a little bit lost when I saw it up on the screen. I understand the principle of the product, I understand the audience, but I'm not 100% on all of the features of the product.
I think what we're basically doing is we're taking data from a source which is already there, and we're pretty much crunching that data by well-known algorithms that are used by many people, and we're actually trying to simplify, we're trying to make the visualization of that data a lot more simple. We've actually managed to get so far down actually validating what we're doing. We first of all felt that words and graphs were not particularly easy for people to understand, so we really needed to actually make a move, and we felt that from a lot of research we did in sort of educational sort of fields, that images, colours, shapes are visually easier to understand for some people. So we're in the process now of refining that and iterating on what we've actually achieved on our front end, and just continually refining pretty much both the algorithms from the data that we get to the front end visualizations to make a beautiful, easy to understand product that people can almost learn to trade stocks with.
Do you feel like you've validated the solution? I heard the stories that you validated the demand, and I definitely buy that, but do you feel like you've validated the solution?
I'll take that on, Jason. I'm head of validation. So I can talk into this.
So what we did is, if I take it back to the research component, 200 people, 221 people, representative of the online Australian population, who would non-rejectors of shares. We also spoke personally, one-on-one, with 41 people who had opened up a share trading account the last 5 years and were not active. And so these were some of the people that we were directly testing the concept with. And then
Validating the problem, though, not the solution.
the solution. So
if
good point.
I'm buying Apple shares, I'm wondering whether to buy Apple shares, and I'm looking at this, what I'm seeing is the price is low, the value is low, they're highly volatile, and sort of moderately risky, so I shouldn't buy them. Is that the right decision?
I think the basic premise of the whole concept is we're not actually telling you to do anything. What we're trying to actually eventually do, and this is going to have to be refined over a period of time, is take well-known fundamentals and algorithms that are used in the market and somehow display them visually and teach the user that this is a visual representation of that fundamental. And with sort of hover-overs and certain aspects, we hope we can actually teach the user, not just visually, but actually with a few simple paragraphs or words, what they need to get out of each visualization and how they need to interpret it. And it's not up to us to actually suggest one way or the other.
But in the end, the value of the product is helping people invest, isn't it?
I think the value of the product is helping people understand how to invest. So yeah, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I think the ultimate validation of this product is getting somebody to invest after having used it. Like getting to that moment's pivotal.
I agree, but I'd also suggest that while we're in beta, that I wouldn't be completely happy at someone saying, yeah, pull the trigger on 100 grand, away we go. What we're looking to do is really refine that whole process, the algorithm and the visual concept. So it's refining slightly there, and just getting feedback all the way until we hit a sweet spot at both ends. And when we hit those sweet spots, we feel that we'll come out of beta and be able to actually give the users an app they can use on every platform that they can look at. And it's not only a trading app, it's beautiful, it's nice to use, it gives them a great visualization of that particular stock.
Just quickly follow on from Phil's question. You stated at the start that the real issue people don't invest online is fear. What I didn't do is, okay, that's a simpler representation, but I'm not sure how it reduces fear, because I think at the end of the day, the fear is, I'm going to put $1 out. The fear is that we want to define a fundamental, which we feel is the fear, and that's what, from our feedback, to make it a bit lower. The reason we think it's visualization is because of this report that we found, and that's saying the main reason that people aren't investing is the data, and so that's our solution. And I think if people are more confident in the data they're seeing, they'll have less fear. So some of the thing we found in the research was actually not about losing money. I'll shut up. Now you want to record it?
Oh yeah, okay. Not about losing money. It was about embarrassment, fear of failure, or fear of not. We've got intelligent people who actually have access to data out there, significant amount of data and significant number of options already. Yet the people we spoke to in the target markets that we identified had told us that actually they're not using anything because this is a problem. So we looked at that. It's not a data issue. It's actually a visualization issue, and making sure that they don't feel silly. Some of the comments they made one-on-one was that I feel a bit dumb, I feel a bit silly, I should know this stuff. And that's the fear that we're talking about. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, NinjaVest. Great stuff. Can I invite up shop? And guys, I'll reiterate, when the questions are being asked, if you're next up, can you wait over there? We'll get the AV set up so that we're not waiting around for ages setting up the AV.
Cool.
And can whoever's answering a question just move to the mic themselves?
Right, the mic ready to them.
We've jumped the queue. Are we ready? Okay. Cool. Hi, everyone. We're opshopping.co, And we find the best quality and unique clothing from op shops so that you don't have to. And by op shops, I mean charity shops. So Ibis World says the Australian second-hand market is a $1 billion industry. With over 2,000 stores, the op shop sector is a significant proportion, but none of them are online. So you can see what the opportunity is. But let's start with the problem. So we've created an online marketplace that solves two types of problem. One, the op shops are in pain, the retail sector is weak, and they cannot get their products online and out to a wider audience. Indeed, Anglicare closed 2 stores in the last 12 months due to a change in market conditions and rising costs. The other problem we're trying to fix is that of the consumers, who are generally frustrated. They're tech savvy, they're always connected, and just like you, they're upwardly mobile. And they're trying to find the best quality items that represent value for money, but they don't have time to go to all the different stores in all the different suburbs. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is opshopping.co. We're unique because we're the only online marketplace where you can browse across all of the op shops at the same time. We're bringing all of the op shops together and bringing them closer to their potential customers. So although we're looking at a page of dresses, we're actually looking at 6 or 7 different op shops from where these products have been sourced. Now we know this works because in the last 24 hours we've had 230 unique visitors, including some of those going straight to our checkout page. We've had 60 Facebook likes, and we've had plenty of Twitter followers. So how big is the opportunity? Well, last year the retail sector grew by 0.5%. Salvos grew by 6%, taking their 212 store turnover to $60 million. That's a 12-fold increase. Their largest store in Osborne Park has an annual budget of $900,000 per year. So we believe that we can take 5% of that market share and drive it through our online marketplace. So who will we target and how will we do it? Well, we're going to target all of the op shops, but in particular, we're going to target those with no online presence. We're already in talks with the retail state manager at St. Vincent de Paul and the commercial divisional manager at the Good Samaritans. From the consumer side, we're after women. Our validation has told us that women from 18 years of age upwards are interested in sourcing fashionable products from these stores. And that ranges from the person who's after the $10 dress to the person who's after the vintage piece of clothing. And the common denominator between them is that they seek quality and unique items. We'll attract them by using social media. So we'll use blogging, we'll use Pinterest, and we'll use targeted Facebook adverts, all of which we're doing today. Again, we know that works because our Google metrics have told us that in the last 24 hours, we've had 900 page views, and we've had an average of 3.4 page views per visitor, which means that when they visit the site, they're actually going through the pages and trying to find the items we're presenting. So the money. Show me the money. How will we make the money? Well, it's a very simple model. We'll charge 20% of the transactional value that goes via our site. That translates in 12 months as over 100 op shops generating $2.8 million worth of revenue. And again, we'll know that this works because Carl Prose, who's a retail state manager for St. Vincent de Paul, has said that that's an acceptable percentage. So who are the competition? Well, I'll tell you who they're not. Etsy, eBay, Amazon, for the simple fact that they do not have access to the inventory of products that we are going to be digitizing. We've met with the staff of at least 6 independent stores. A lot of them are volunteers. And after presenting our ideas, and as excited as they were, they just couldn't see how it would be possible to get those products online. Duh. We've already done it. It's their own inertia that's the competition. That's why, instead of dealing with the volunteers, we're dealing with the owners of the op shops. We're dealing with the state managers, the people that can make the decisions. We're going to drag these guys online. So, let me introduce you to the team. Come out as we speak. So we have Saxon, who has actually built the site. Saxon is a programmer and a developer and was critical in getting this thing live and up and running within the first evening of doing the startup weekend. Cool. We have Paul, whose background is in banking, and he's going to go for his CPA. And indeed, Paul is meeting with... Thank you. Cool. Thank you.
Well done.
Questions? Guys,
Yeah.
come out.
Oh, go ahead.
So I guess my first question is going to be, I mean, it's going to be critical to get all these items online. You said you're going to drag them online. How are you going to get all these different products online, and how are you going to do this in a scalable manner?
Okay, so to start with, well, the critical thing is we're not trying to get the entire inventory online. We don't want to sell 30-cent forks and such like. So it's a select proportion of their inventory that we're going to be bringing online. So that addresses one aspect of it. We're going to have a couple of solutions. One is their own shop staff will take pictures as the products are being bought in, again, select products. We'll also have photographers going out and doing some of this work for us. So one of our models is to have student photographers who will pay a nominal fee to visit a certain amount of stores in 3 specific demographic areas that we've identified that has the type of products and the type of demographic that we're after. So it's not the entire inventory, because actually an upside to this is that we're actually driving people to your store by showcasing some of your products.
So have you looked at the kind of cost of doing that? It's either extra work for the people that are already in the store, or paying for the people to go out to do it, and then also delivery, so then that you're putting extra costs in, and how does that tie up against the margin you're making?
Okay, so the chap at Vincent de Paul, who don't have an online store, has said that their staff can handle the photography element, so some of that labour cost is their own. If we need to, we will employ students. So our financial models, we've factored in paying them $20 per store to go out and take the pictures, and we've modelled some of that into our projections. Some charity shops already do deliveries, and for those that don't, we'll add the delivery cost component into the price of goods. And if we get enough op shops online, then when we're phoning up Ozpost, DHL and such like, we're negotiating from the point of view of we're a representative of 50 op shops, and we need a percentage from you to deliver.
Okay, but I guess the key question is, what percentage of your revenue is those costs?
It's a very nominal amount, because actually, for the moment, when you buy an item, you'll go to the store and pick it up. If you want delivery, then if you go to our site, for example, at the moment delivery is $15. So if you want delivery, we'll charge you $15, and then we'll ship it out to you, and the store will brown bag it and post it.
I just want to say, great pitch. It was really, really well articulated, really clear. Got all the information I needed to judge, so well done. And I really liked, one of the really good things I liked is how you validated the percentage, like the exact price that you were going to, the exact commission you were going to charge the customers. So that was brilliant. Did you get any sales? Because you gave us a great conversion funnel, but you didn't get all the way to the end of it.
No, we didn't get any sales.
Okay. My last question is, would you invest $50,000 of your own money into this business?
As long as the op shops are on board, yes.
Okay, great. Jeff? Anyone?
Hi. I like the pitch. The only thing is more, just want to understand. Generally, the persona of a customer is very narrow. There's no such thing as 18 and above. So is there a segment of a persona of perfect customer for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about dresses and that persona because it's the focus. It gives us a way to validate the idea. It could be vintage watches for men or anything, but specific to that, it's 18 to 35 who typically tend to go for the dresses, who go for the vintage range, who want something unique and want quality, quality, quality. There's no reason why it shouldn't be anyone above 35, but all of our validation in the shopping malls, etc., was 18 to 35-year-olds.
I've just got just a bit of feedback. I think just going on my point on the having any sales. I just think it's oh, sorry. All right. So just I think it's really good to try and get the full cycle of the business model all the way through and just obsess with that. I know you've had a really short amount of time, and I'm not really criticizing you because I think I can see that you've really smashed it over the weekend and you've done lots of validating. But it would have been great if you'd just really, if one of you had just gone hard at that to try to, if you got one sale, if you'd given us that conversion funnel.
Trust me, I nearly bought the dress, but it didn't. I wouldn't have given it.
Yeah, it's kind of making it a little bit, yeah. And one last final question then, in the last 20 seconds, is any thoughts on how you create the quality and uniqueness that's so important to the business?
Yeah, broadly speaking, we'll have some very simple criteria that the volunteers can follow. So, you know, the age of the product, whether it's a label, the type of fabric that's being used, and whether, you know, that kind of stuff. So it'll be very sort of village idiot proof.
Right. Cool.
I'd like to welcome up, what, the Druck? Well, g'day everybody. We are Druckr.co, the app to micro-manage yourself. This is the team. We've got Andy, Darcy, Jacob, myself, and we have Carl. The problem we're dealing with is a fundamental human problem. The way that you think you spent your day is different to the way you actually spent your day. And here's why. You do something fun for 30 minutes, it feels like 5 minutes. But you do something boring for 5 minutes, and it feels like you've just spent 30 minutes. We are all ineffective. We think we spend our time well because we remember the hard work. And it feels like we've only spent 5 minutes doing the fun stuff. This is Peter Druckr. He's kind of a big deal. He is the guru of all management gurus. He wrote the book about management. And Peter Drucker's advice was, get your secretary, this was back in the 70s, get your secretary to stand beside you and follow you around all week, recording how you spend your time every minute of every day, and see how it aligns to your expectations. This is still done by today's top executives. Druckr.co is the app for life hacking executives. It's for people who actually want to improve themselves and get more effective. Here's how it works. You tell Druckr.co your top 3 to 4 priorities and their relative importance. And during the day, it gives you micro polls to find out what you're doing at regular short intervals. Druckr.co quietly pops up and asks what priority you're working on or something else. But here's the magic. Druckr.co shows you real data, how you spent your time against how you wish you spent your time. 5 years ago, I did this, but there was no technology for it. I took pen and paper and recorded my day across the week. I thought I was effective, and boy was I wrong. It was a big wake-up call. So here's how it works. This is the app today. You open Druckr.co, and you add 3 to 4 priorities of the things that you think are most important that you're working on. In this case, we've just given a couple of sample ones. You close Druckr.co, and every now and then, at an interval that you specify, Druckr.co pops up and asks you, what are you working on right now? Like so. You select the task, the priority that you're working on at that moment in time, or if you want, you select a couple of priorities if you're working on a couple of different things. There's always an other option down the bottom. Whenever you like, you can have a look at how your time has really been spent against how your time has actually been spent. In this case, we've spent far more time on other than we ought to have. We asked the internet how many managers there are in the world, and it said, too many. So we've done a little bit more analysis and discovered that there are now 91 million people in our target market, executives who are life hacking. But we can reach these people. Executive life hackers, we've discovered 3 channels that we can really effectively reach our target audience. There's a particular podcast which is subscribed to by a large number of these people. We've got executive MBA programs, and we've also found a blog which a lot of these people subscribe to. But this isn't all. We know that HR departments of Fortune 1000 companies. There's a company called Human Synergistics International which really focuses on personal productivity, and we've found management consultants. This app will retail for $1.99 on the Apple App Store. But what's the competition? The biggest one is Rescue Time. Rescue Time is a desktop app that automatically measures how much time you spend in each app while you're working. But it only measures what you do while you're in front of a PC. It doesn't measure your time of executives when they're in meetings, on telephone calls, or away from their desk. Druckr.co makes you conscious as you're using it of how you're spending your time. and it works as you use it, and there's nothing unnecessary. This is just the start. There are more proven ideas that Druckr has that we can implement in electronic form and dramatically improve people's productivity. But it's not just about the individual. The real opportunity is at the organization. Talent management, the way to improve people's productivity, is the #1 priority of HR for HR departments at Fortune 1000 companies. 3 talent management examples. Last year, Connexa was acquired by IBM for $1.3 billion. Taleo was acquired by Oracle for $1.9 billion. And SuccessFactors was acquired by SAP for $3.4 billion. These are all the focus on how to improve effectiveness. We've still got a way to go. The app is 75% feature complete right now. We're working on validation to improve the take-up rate of people who use the app, and key metrics about time spent in the app and percentage of users who complete Hell Week, the first week to use it. This is proven to work over the last 40 years. Tens of thousands of people have benefited from using this, and it can change millions of people's lives more. Any questions?
What's the cost structure, the ongoing costs of running the business, the app itself?
Yeah, the app itself is entirely a service, a client-side app, so there's no ongoing costs other than support.
So it's a
but
one-off.
the main cost is to do with distribution. So we've been looking at the costs of banner advertising through the Lifehacker blog, and we've been looking at partnerships with Manager Tools, the podcast, and also we're going to be speaking to some MBA programs.
I have 2 questions. First one relates to customer validation. It wasn't clear from your pitch what you'd done to validate that people will buy an app like this, and more importantly, I guess, that they will continue to use it. My experience with apps is that most people use apps for entertainment, and they use them for a very short period of time and throw them away. Very few apps are sticky. So can you comment on both customer validation and stickiness?
I can comment on invalidation, perhaps. We've actually spent our weekend invalidating a whole lot of other ideas. So we've been to coffee shops who have proved to us that they don't like queue jumpers, and we've been out to the managers and owners of big nightclubs who've told us that we're not reading their real needs with some VIP programs we had. We've invalidated other ideas with bartenders who hate people waving money in their face, and we've also been looking at charities who, it turns out, don't really want to, certain charities don't want to really sponsor people drinking heavily. So we do have the app, and we've got some really key metrics which we want to validate against, and we've just started that customer validation at the moment.
Okay,
the paper-based version has been validated for years and is being used effectively by top executives.
The second question is really around how people use apps. Very few apps are sticky.
Yes.
Yeah. So you just want to sell them $1.99, they'll use it for a couple of days, and then that's it?
No. So the real key engagement is increasing that with other things. So some of those other app ideas that we talked about are looking at ways to, for example, reorganize your day so that you get larger chunks of open time and all of your work, larger chunks of contiguous work time, or ways to delegate more tasks and things like that. So we're looking at upselling or cross-selling to other functionality, but once we've got an in.
I think we need a prize for the most pivots in one weekend.
Yeah,
because that's really good, because I think it moved the dial for me, because I had the same worry as Rob, because I felt like you hadn't validated anything in this really.
Yeah.
But it's terrific that you did not build the 5 businesses that came before.
No, we did actually. We've got mock-ups and apps and all.
No, that's great. I mean, it's terrific. It's terrific. It's terrific that you didn't invest $50,000 in it and start building it and quit your job. You learned that they were the wrong things to do. So that was magic. That's a real plus. Have I got any questions? Did you like this? The choice you made was to sort of interrupt people. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Did you think of any other ways of doing it, or did you try it yourselves as a way of managing the day? So it doesn't really measure the start and end, does it? You sort of, the only way to really know is to ask people 60 times a minute.
Yeah, so we did talk about turning it on and off outside of work times. Just one of the guys who has it installed on their phone wanted to say about what it's like to use.
Yeah, so during testing we found it very annoying that it came up every 10 seconds or so. But we were investigating having it as a configurable time, so say a default of a random interval between 5 and 10 minutes. And Damien was telling us in his personal experience that because you have to explicitly pay attention to it, it really draws attention to the fact that you are spending a lot more time on what you're not wanting to spend time on.
Great, that's a good answer. And just one last question is, how do you feel about this business? Do you feel like there's a business here with the time that you have been working on it?
Yeah, I think there is. I think there's a real opportunity, and I think that the big thing is this genuine human need and this genuine fault in the way the human brain works that makes us unproductive. And I think it's everyone here who's worked on a project this weekend can agree that people can be far, far, far more productive than they regularly are, and the average person on an average day is horrendously unproductive.
Right, thank you guys.
So I personally have this problem, so I think you hit it on the nail. So if you guys use multiple tabs on your browser, you know what I mean. Right? I think since it's less than 12 hours since you pivoted, there's a few things. I think the user experience is not the number one thing. There might be innovations on how you hook it up with a wristband that vibrates and stuff like this. And obviously revenue model. I think $199 doesn't make sense. You should do more like an Evernote way, a freemium model, and then make your customer value much higher, and then you can charge maybe $12 a year or more.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really good feedback. We have spoken to someone this morning who to get some really good metrics about apps and how we can measure engagement, because that's obviously really important, and I agree. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I'd like to introduce Styleable.
Thank you. Yes, still called Styleable. All right, hi everyone, I'm Jeremy. I've actually came across a bit of a problem. I wanted to go online and find myself a new shirt, and I shopped online and I saw this and I thought, yeah, that's pretty good. And I got it back, I put it on, and I just realized that's just not me. So it just wasn't working. And the problem is, when I go to an online store and I check out all these really great outfits, as hard as I try, I just don't look like these models. So that might be in the op shop. So I need a solution to work out what style actually fits best for me. Our team and I, we went out and we did 3 rounds of surveys. We got over 100 responses, and this is kind of what we learned. We're not the only ones with this problem. Over half the people who bought online got it wrong. Some of them don't return it. We also do know, though, that people are happy to recommend for some friends or family online and when to buy items. So the problem right now is that our competitors don't deliver. If I want to try and find the right style for me, I can create like a fake avatar on the HMN website. I still don't look like that. I can try this one, which is an augmented reality. I've got to move backwards and forwards with QR codes. It's really difficult and clumsy to use. Or I go into this virtual wall, but I still have to leave my house to go shopping. Pain in the ass. So I don't want to do any of those. So we think there's an opportunity here where we can bring an online wardrobe to you. We're going to fit it on clothes based on pictures that you already have. And we'll allow you to style your friends, which will make it kind of fun as well. So we're going to show you a little bit about how that works right now. So we're going to do a video run through, and then we're going to do a live, because straight off the press was a iPad app. So you can see here, we've gone in, we've picked out a picture. Here's one of our mentors from Startup Weekend. He's looking good. I'm positioning his shoulder pads and his waistline. This thing over here, that's our wardrobe, our online wardrobe with drawers that we can customize over time. And we can very quickly fit out some new funky styles to see what goes with him. I'm going to give him the boy band look. Yeah. Boy band look's looking great. I'm going to show underneath. That's a bit dull. I'm going to go lipstick red. Yep, that's looking much better, I think. I'll try a few accessories as well. So all these drawers can happen over time. I'm gonna scarf him up, I think. Now, I'll apply a few filters just to see what it kind of looks like. But if I don't like that, I can flip it back to the original, and now I can get it, gift it, or share it. I send a little quick message to him, post it on his wall. He might share it with his friends, get their feedback and comment before he actually buys it. Does this style actually suit? Now, we've actually got an iPad demo that we just want to show the judges really quickly. The interaction's a lot smoother and fun, and you can actually just quickly flick through wardrobes as well.
Right. Flip around, and then just flick.
Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, so who do we want to take this concept and technology to? Well, we've got a consumer target market, 21 to 45-year-old people buying outfits for men. One of the learning we found from our surveys is not just women styling men. Some men actually do want to dress themselves as well. That they're comfortable with online purchases, but want to take the risk out of buying stuff, putting credit cards in and doing all that, having to return items. In the business side, online retailers and companies wanting to improve the customer experience they have when they go to the store, allowing them to put pictures up of them and putting their clothes onto themselves. So improving sales conversion and that experience. What do we think the market potential is like? Well, in Australia, PwC did a bit of a research survey, and $16 billion spent in 2012, and that's a growing market, with average individual purchases up to $240 for a male online from $180. So how are we going to make money out of this? Well, we think it's a bit of a fun factor. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of novel. As I suggest things through to people, we'll partner up with people like ASOS, the Iconic, who have affiliate programs. 15% is their kickback to us. They say that the average transaction is $120 per sale. So that's one way to do it. We can license and white label it to brands who want to have their own exclusive catalog and allow people to interact with their brand. And then when we have our awesome wardrobe all set up and ready to go, sponsored advertising where they can feature the latest jacket of the month or any of their customizable products. And we might do that either as a pay-per-click or actually to place an ad. So to build attraction, we've certainly been using Facebook, because right now we've built that Facebook app. And we want to hit some male fashion blogs, but it's not just male fashion blogs. There's a whole bunch of blogs that we saw about women giving women advice about how to buy fashion for their men, and then blogs about men saying, how do I tell my wife I don't like the stuff she buys me? So those are the kind of blogs we want to hit up. Connect up with online retailers if they already have an existing database and want to market this concept to them, and then offer incentives. And we've already had 100 likes. So I just want to end on the team. End on the team. I'm bringing the team out. Bring the team out. Hold on.
I just have a very, very practical question, which is the jacket you showed us all looks very cool, but how do you get that image? You know, there's a lot of work in getting all of those images, or is there some super smart algorithm that runs and does it all that, t-shirts and all that automatically?
I'll let Brad take that one, because there's a technical answer for that if you want that one. Or it's like magic, but
it's slightly more detailed than magic, yeah.
So currently you do need to prepare the images, namely in removing, for instance, the model who was wearing the image and placing some key markers on it that show you where the shoulders were and the waistline, and presumably there'll be similar things for pants. We're expecting that this is fairly simple work, it's fairly quick work. It's something we think we could probably outsource, for instance, to Mechanical Turk using Amazon, get it out of the way. So, but there is some prep work required.
Okay, thanks.
Do you feel like that just in terms of the eventual look and feel of it, that when you've got more than a couple of days to work on the code, you can kind of fit it a little bit better?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I was pretty impressed with it anyway, but
yeah.
Like,
but to answer things like that, so if you overlay a jacket, that jacket becomes the external barrier, so the shirt will hide underneath. If I put a tie, it's going to be under the jacket, not over the jacket. So those are problems that we can solve.
Okay, great. I think I can definitely confirm that it's a good way of going with Mechanical Turk, because we've done that before. And you do, yeah, when you just upload the content, it goes off to Mechanical Turk, gets processed and pulled in, and it works like magic. It's really good. It is magic. So just sort of a question for you, like, do you think as a measure of success, would it be more sales or less returns? What would be the most important metric?
For the online retailer?
Yeah.
I think I think it's actually more sales, because I'm finding styles that I like, and it's less returns because the chances of me returning it are a lot lower because I've already had the opportunity to check out. And when you go into a shop right now, you kind of want to find the style that fits, style that works for you first before you look at fit and price. You kind of do that visual cue before you go any further. So we want to solve just that problem.
Great. Okay. Anyone else got a question?
I got one.
Yeah.
Yep. This one wasn't even on. Okay, now it's on. The other thing here is there's a kind of the chicken and egg part of this problem, right? Which is you've got to get the consumers and you've got to get, you know, there's a lot of work to get all the jackets and images and so on, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yep.
Is there some way you thought about really focusing the problem, which comes down to your customer validation of who is my first customer, who he or she really look like, and therefore which retailers or providers do I need to partner with? Did you kind of zoom in on where you're going to start this business?
Yeah, absolutely. So we already can identify like the top brands who have lots of traffic already going there online. Say ASOS and The Iconic, they already have affiliate programs set up, so there's no need to go through long negotiated partnerships with them. The initial consumer side of things, we want to do things like create fun clothing incentives. If you recommend 5 styles, we'll unlock some funny clothing that you can now put on someone else. And we'll use Facebook ads, we'll use Google AdWords to try and generate that initial traffic. There'll definitely be a need to create a bit of hype and interest and push it out there for its novelty value. And then after that, it can be a bit more of a style guide.
I'm just wondering, why is your target segment men? I mean, when I look at something like this and I think about kind of innovation for online retailers, I think to myself, Sports Girl, I think to myself, you know, like Cotton On, not specific, you know, namely just men brands.
For this weekend, we just stuck with men. But absolutely, so our brand name's Styleable. We'll have Styleable Women, Styleable Kids. Someone recommended pets, but we thought, not so sure. So it's just, that last word is replaceable. But it is about the complexity of fitting out women, I'm sorry to say. So we're starting with men.
So one last one from me. I'm not clear at the end. Like, is the business model to license a tool for existing e-commerce sites, like, or is it to have a different consumer site where you can resell other people's goods?
I think our first way of doing it would be through the affiliation. We want to test and measure that, see if that actually picks up. If that doesn't work, then we go down the licensing. We can try and explore both in parallel and see which one makes us more money.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. And the Facebook, tell me more about your experiments with Facebook. Were you just trying to get people to like it, or were you trying to get a sale from it, or were you trying to see if it was virally funny, or?
Initially, it was just, do you like this idea on Facebook? Because we didn't have a working prototype, so we just had to do some Photoshop mock-ups. We restyled one of the Mentor 3 different ways, and just see if people liked the idea of being able to style themselves or their friends on a Facebook app. And when we did our face-to-face validations, that was a question we asked them: would you actually use a Facebook app or a picture that you already have to style a friend?
And what did they say?
Yeah, the ones that we interviewed on the streets, 70, not so much. The ones that are online, yes, because the ones that are on the street are already buying out and about.
All right, thank you.
Very good evening, everybody. In my first pitch on Friday night, I mentioned the fact that every single minute, over 72 hours of content is uploaded to YouTube. That's every single minute. It's a bit crazy, isn't it? So I just want a quick show of hands. I want people to raise their hands if they've ever felt that there's just an overload of content on YouTube. Yeah, that's pretty much everyone. So that basically forms the basis of our validation. Currently, there's far too much content overload. In fact, if there was just one person trying to watch all the videos that are up on YouTube, it would take them 600,000 million years to watch all of it. It's incomprehensible, really. So I represent Virality. We are a team of 3, and we are a viral video discovery, and to discover emerging viral videos. We have a team of, these 2 are developers, and I'm a marketing biz dev guy, and we've built a working website that we'll show you later that represents emerging videos represented on quite a cool video wall. Based on acceleration, velocity, a few other things that I'm not qualified to explain, Virality offers like a customizable interface aligned to your personal interests. So instead of me just sitting up here and trying to explain something, don't know how all the mechanic works, I'd rather just get these guys to quickly show you and take you on a quick tour of how it works. Thank you.
So we're going to do a demonstration of the app, and we need some internet, and we're having trouble, so let's just hope the internet works. And we've got 2 laptops, because one definitely can't connect with the PowerPoint slideshow, so we've got to switch over right now. Oh. Pulling up the app, we've got a wall of videos. What you see as soon as you get there is just everything. This is pretty much the best videos, or according to YouTube, the best videos in the last couple of years. Up at the top, we've got some filters. Using the filters, you can filter down the data that you're going to see, a curated list of videos based on your own taste. Let's start with a virality slider. The virality slider gives you at 10. It gives you Gangnam Style stuff, billion hits, down to 1. Gives you things that we feel are starting to pick up traction, things that are at an apex of an exponential curve. Moving on, we've also got filters. So we've got all the famous categories: animals, autos, comedy, education, all them kind of filters. You hit one of them, you're just going to see a wall of videos based on that category. Based on your internet connection, you may have to wait a few seconds. We've also got real-time search. This was probably our biggest technical issue. We can search anything you want and just pull up some videos. So we want somebody from the audience to give us a keyword, and we're going to hope that it works. Somebody just shouting out. Oh, I heard cars. Oh, cars it was. Oh my God. That's the demo over. Let's get back into some business stuff.
Right. Whilst we were kind of waiting for the... Okay. Thank you. Totally unplanned. Look, basically our market. So over the weekend we identified 2 distinct groups. The first one is core users. Based on analysis of Alexa and a couple of other awesome sites, reckon our average user, 13 to 34 male, college educated. The other user base we have is our customer base, which is marketing and digital ad agencies who control video advertising dollars. They're the ones that'd be interested in it, and that'll be explained in a second. I'm just going to pass on quickly to our revenue models to see we're running out of time.
Right now, the only revenue models that we've got is sticky adverts and banners, things like that. Together, we need a massive, massive user base. So our main focus is giving people a free service and hoping that we can get the massive user base. Once we have a massive user base, we feel that we can generate the data that we need to kind of begin predicting virality and selling that data to marketing or business companies who want to try and improve their own marketing strategies. Oh, 20 seconds short, but we're done.
And you got to come up here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's good idea. I mean, and certainly if you kind of tap into that kind of late teenage age group, they just love finding cool stuff and cool ideas, right? So I can kind of see where that's headed. 2 questions. First question relates to the algorithm. So that kind of virality slider, it's a hard thing to say. The virality slider, that's key, right? So what's there that's kind of interesting or protectable or valuable?
So it's definitely not unique, and Google will probably put us under in about 15 minutes. But the main things we're using is acceleration and a percentage of positive likes to dislikes. There's a couple of other signals that we're using to filter in some of the data, and we looked at doing things on a per category basis, but that's about it.
Okay, so but that's kind of an interesting point, because maybe your business model then changes, which is really my second question. So, as you said, banner adverts, you've got to have a truckload of users to make any money at all, right? And you're dealing with a relatively expensive resource here, which is scanning videos and all that kind of stuff. So maybe your business model might be better licensing to a YouTube or licensing to somebody who can kind of get some value out of it?
I just got this, yeah. I mean, from the basis of what we kind of like, we're going for a low cost, low revenue model. We're not anticipating where we really see the value in this product is in data, and we're trying to focus all our efforts on trying to realize this formula for calculating viral growth. And when we figure that out, and if we do accrue the data, that's where the value sits in this thing. The banner advertising, it helps tick over and pay daily expenses, but once you get that database that we're able to analyze and get this formula, that's when we'll be able to monetize it into really big money.
Just touching on the cost, as a $5 a month VPS, crunched away hundreds of thousands of videos, no problem at all. Like, I don't think it would be that much to keep it running.
You mentioned one of the ways you measure virality is acceleration. What does that mean?
Acceleration of the number of visits.
So you're measuring how frequently
it goes up? And obviously to generate a proper exponential curve, we would need 4 points at least that we'd pull. And yeah, we would calculate the acceleration using the number of visits we had last time and the number of visits we got this time, minus over time, take time. So that's just a normal differential.
Okay. So the core problem you validated so expertly at the beginning of the pitch, that there's too much stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
How did you fix that?
So obviously, YouTube's giving us a lot of statistics as well about the earned data, such as like upverts, downverts, ratings, number of views, all them kind of things. So we're aggregating all that data, chucking in whatever you're giving us, like a category or a search term, and then we're giving you the results of that data. So you've got, using the virality slider, at one end you've just got the best data, and at the other end you've got stuff that we think, using our own signals, that is good, but it's still got some traction. It's not at the bottom like with 0 ratings.
Okay. And did you validate in any way that it does do that job? How did you test it?
And we got a GERT, so that's good enough for me.
So that's a no.
Yeah. I'd just like to add to that. I mean, we obviously just a team of 3, so we were a bit limited in terms of resources. But I mean, from everyone that came around having a look at our app, and I'm sure as you guys saw when it was up there, it looks fantastic and it works really well. So we think there's a really good potential behind this.
Okay, are you going to release it when you're going to keep it out there?
Probably only going to have 3 users, and you're looking at all 3 of them, but it's pretty fun and professional time wasting. Every business owner's going to hate us, but yeah, it's good.
Fantastic. All right. Anyone else, Jeff?
So first comment is, for 3 of you, it's a very nice looking product, so I commend you on getting it done and getting it working. So the other comment is, this year, anything revolves around mobile video. Anything in video is a big theme in the value when we are investing. So that could be something interesting for you. I assume you can predict a video before they are trending on YouTube. Is that what you're doing? Okay. So if you're very accurate, there might be a B2C angle. So all you need is a hook, right? Just a nice hook, and get the guys involved in that. If that doesn't grow enough, a B2B angle that you sell to agencies or media buyers could be one, where they are trying to figure out which video to put ads behind before they become trending. That could be quite interesting. So you could charge a fee for that.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you very much.
All right, hi, we're at Collidr. Just to give you guys all a little bit of background information, we initially started with the idea of giving notice to patients waiting in a waiting room, but after going through market validation and a significant learning experience, last night at 8 o'clock, we did a pivot, or a pirouette, and we funneled down our problem to focusing on business travellers waiting at the airport and fighting boredom. So just to illustrate, we have Dash, who's just arrived into Hong Kong Airport. He is the serial entrepreneur. He's interested in yoga because eventually he wants to be able to touch his toes. We have Marcus. We also have Marcus, the yogi from New York, who's also waiting for his flight in Hong Kong, and he wants to start an iPhone app. So here we have two individuals who are like-minded, who could actually share in the knowledge and experience with each other. They could network and they could help each other, but they don't know about each other's presence, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that's right. And Dash and Marcus are not alone with this problem. For example, 30 million business travellers go through Heathrow each year, and it's estimated that they waste 700,000 hours of productivity each month through waiting around. That's 600,000 hours, that's just crazy. So we bring you Collidr. It allows you to find, locate and connect with other like-minded business travellers at the airport while waiting for your flight, thus enabling people like Dash and Marcus to make better use of their time and connect and network. I don't know what she's doing in there.
So how do we know that this will work? Well, our team made the trip down to the hotels and we surveyed business travellers who identified this problem themselves as well, and they said that they would use this app. They signed up to the platform that we created, albeit temporary. So yeah, so from there we also did some market research on our competitors, and fair enough, there are competitors out there which business doesn't have it, but our competitors focus only on the social network aspect, just like Facebook is social, is based on social network. LinkedIn is more professional, and that's what our application is about. Our competitors don't offer or harness potential networking and business opportunities. So our market is really niche, and by narrowing our market down, we're able to simplify the manner of execution and our marketing methodology.
Yeah, we plan to roll the app out to the 4 major transit airports initially. In partnership with them, we believe we'll be able to entice our users to start using the application. Once we start to gain some traction, it'll give us a strong foothold, and we'll be able to launch a strong advertising base within that, and also loyalty schemes, and perhaps even a premium edition of the app.
So now we present to you Collidr.
So you can sign in with LinkedIn or Twitter. So here is Dash. He's just signed in. Okay, I'm free for 45 minutes and I want to talk about these things. I'm not Dubai, he hasn't slept much. So once he clicks on Collide, it shows some other people who are at the airport, but he wants to check out something else. So he looks under yoga, and there's Marcus. So here he clicks on to connect with Marcus and open a conversation. And he says, "Hey Marcus, are you free?" And then they have a conversation, and they arrange to meet up. And this just shows your previous conversations with other people.
And so just to introduce out the team of Collidr as well, we have Liam, obviously, we have David, Tristan, Richard and Lee, who's all going to join us.
So we really think this is going to take off, so if you could come on board and...
Yeah, this we hope is going to be so big that LinkedIn is going to buy us eventually one day, because we're going to be that good. It's going to help businesses flourish and increase productivity. So employees who actually travel a lot, well, I'm afraid you might actually have to start working now.
Sure. And remember, guys, what happens at the airport stays at the airport.
I have 2
questions. Generally, I think having a really, really tightly defined niche market is quite important. But why did you choose just the airport? Because I think the concept of what you're talking about is great, but why just the airport?
We think it's a really nice, safe environment, and it's conducive to people when they actually do get together. They better go and share a coffee, and actually they've got enough time and the right environment to actually do something.
I think it's the security aspect as well. Like, I mean, if anyone can take real cutlery through the airport, let me know, because I'd like to use real cutlery myself. But it's the security of the environment. It's not like online dating where you're meeting a complete stranger and you don't know what they're going to do to you. It's unlikely you'll get abducted in an environment like this. And because we're focusing on the professionals, most professionals that are travelling have a wealth of knowledge and network that they can share with each other as well.
And then my second question is the business model. What's the revenue model behind it? How does it make any money?
Yeah, sure. So we think by going into partnership with the airports, we'll better get people on board. Then we're going to gain traction through that and achieve.
So do I pay for it when I'm at the airport? How do
No, it's free. It'll be endorsed by the 4 major transit airports.
Yeah, that's correct.
So I think it's LA.
It's Heathrow, Kuala Lumpur, Singapore,
and Hong Kong.
And Hong Kong, yeah.
And so and also like in-app advertising as well.
Just a question on the problem you're solving in the customer validation, right? So I think you kind of validated that people waste time at airports. You kind of know that, but what problem are you solving? You know, and then how did you validate the problem's solved?
We're solving the problem of boredom and also, as you say, wasting time. We want to increase productivity as well. We actually have an expert who did the validation as well, so I'll...
One of the questions we posed was whether people felt that they were wasting time at the airport. And for those people who were business travellers at the airport, all of the ones we found actually said yes, they did feel like they were wasting time at the airport for when they have long transit periods. So in terms of the problem, that's the problem we were trying to address, to basically help people feel that boredom and make it a better use of their time.
Okay, so then to the customer validation side. Okay, so maybe I'm wasting time at an airport, but it's kind of then, did you validate that they would choose to do a face-to-face meetup as a way of filling that time, right? Because it's quite a leap to go from I'm going to do something or even chat to somebody online to say, no, I'm going to put myself out there and chat to somebody in a business environment that I don't know.
I guess it was quite direct. The way we posed it was, would you be interested in a method of making face-to-face contact with other possible like-minded individuals? And I guess we didn't give people the other options, but from the options we did give them, the response was very positive.
So I really like the idea. I like that I'm in a room or in a group full of people and I want to meet with like-minded people. I struggle a little bit with the airport because as a frequent business traveler, when I'm at the airport, I really don't want to work, to be honest, or I'm working on tasks I already have. If I'm trying to release my boredom or to relax, as a frequent flyer, I'm probably in the lounge.
That's true, and I guess you might not necessarily be the person working. For example, you might be interested in investing in a property in Brooklyn, and you might actually punch that in as an interest. And so the commercial or the real estate agent from New York might actually be working, so he's the one that can actually promote his services to you.
I would like to kind of see this as maybe the venue being conferences. Or places that I'm there to network already, because that's one thing I struggle at. I'm at a conference or even something like this, Startup Weekend, where maybe I want to connect with the VC who's working in media or something like that, and to be able to set that preference and to be in that locale. I think there's quite a lot of value in that. I think you're restricting yourself a bit by aiming for the business traveler who is bored but not too tired to work, but doesn't want to work on the stuff he already has to work on and is not in the lounge.
Well, we started at 8 o'clock last night, so hence we funneled.
quick adjournment, and a lovely dinner is available, so if you would please avail yourself of it. Judges, you're welcome to go and help yourselves, or we can bring some